My family is in the worst mess. Brooke doesn't talk to us. She cut me out. I haven't talked to her for 7 years. She had twins. She didn't tell us. She had a...
Hulk Hogan's wife revealed that their messy family problems were what pushed their daughter Brooke away. And now that Hulk has passed, Brooke Hogan is finally ready to speak out. These are the consequences of everything that has happened, and Brooke is now exposing dark family secrets while even requesting to be removed from her father's will. Brooke has decided to break her years of silence about the abuse and manipulation that shaped her childhood and ultimately led her to cut off all contact with both of her parents. The most shocking moment came on March 28, 2025, as a response to a tearful video her mother Linda had posted just 2 days earlier. Linda's video appeared to be a desperate attempt to paint herself as the victim, crying that,
"This is the repercussions of what's happened."
But Linda's public breakdown completely backfired, pushing Brooke to finally share her side of the story through a series of Instagram posts that shook the wrestling world to its core. Brooke's response was swift and devastating. In a detailed 7-slide Instagram carousel, she revealed the truth about her childhood that no reality TV camera had ever shown. Her statement described years of abuse without directly naming the perpetrators, but strongly suggested that both of her parents were involved. The revelations she shared were more shocking than anything fans had ever seen in a scripted wrestling storyline.
It's been 15 or longer years since I got left HulkHogan, and my family is in the worst mess. Brooke doesn't talk to us. She cut me out. I haven't talked to her for 7 years, almost 8.
Brooke wrote with the weight of years of suppressed trauma, revealing that the abuse she endured often turned physical, and shockingly, it didn't always come from the person everyone assumed. While many believed Hulk was responsible, Brooke implied that her mother, Linda, was actually the primary abuser. The abuse wasn't just physical. She described a long campaign of psychological warfare that began in childhood, including hateful text messages, verbal attacks, and public humiliations that left deep emotional scars well into adulthood. Brooke explained how she had been manipulated into publicly defending her parents' behavior, only to later discover that she had been misled and lied to. The most heartbreaking part of her statement was her admission that she had been used as a pawn in her parents' toxic relationship. "I've been used as a pawn, a buffer, and treated like I'm downright stupid. No child or human should experience this treatment. It caused my life to crumble." For someone who grew up in the spotlight surrounded by celebrity privilege, Brooke revealed that behind the scenes, her life had been a nightmare. Her most powerful moment came at the end of her post, where she declared her independence from the cycle of abuse that had defined her family for generations, writing, "I have been to therapy. I'm doing the work. I am breaking the chain. It ends with me." This was more than just defiance, it was a promise to her children that they would never suffer what she went through. Brooke's most shocking decision came when she requested to be removed from Hulk's will in 2023 to avoid future legal battles or exploitation. When Hulk passed, leaving behind an estimated $25 million estate, Brooke would inherit nothing. This was not a decision made out of anger, but a deliberate choice to prevent family fighting and ensure any future connection with her parents would be built on genuine love, not money or obligation. Her choice proved she was committed to breaking the cycle of dysfunction, not only for her children, but for herself. Despite being raised in a world where money and fame were everything, Brooke chose emotional peace over wealth. The timing of her revelations was no accident. Just 2 months earlier, in January 2025, Brooke had secretly given birth to twins, Oliver, Andrew, and Molly Jean, with her husband, Stephen, Alexi. Neither Hulk nor Linda knew about the children until Brooke announced their birth on social media. Naming her daughter Molly Jean, which included Hulk's middle name, showed she still felt some love for her father, but not enough to ignore the pain of their past. When Brooke posted her cryptic response to Linda's breakdown, she wrote, "This is the repercussions of what's happened," a short but powerful statement that summed up years of pain and manipulation and made it clear she would no longer carry the weight of her parents' choices. The reaction to her revelations was immediate and polarizing. Linda lashed out on Facebook, calling Brooke a narcissist like her father and claiming she had only spanked Brooke once, refusing to take any responsibility for her daughter's pain. Hulk stayed mostly silent, posting a strange video with his new wife, Sky Daily, where they laughed and ate popcorn, as if brushing off the family drama. This dismissive reaction only validated Brooke's decision to cut ties. Her husband, Steven, also stepped in to defend her, revealing even more about the family's dysfunction, including that Hulk had refused to walk Brooke down the aisle at her 2022 wedding, telling her, "I don't do weddings anymore." This painted Hulk as someone who had already distanced himself from his daughter long before her public revelations. Perhaps the most shocking part of Brooke's statement was how it completely destroyed the image of the perfect family that Hogan knows best had built. The show had portrayed the Hogans as the perfect all-American family, with Hulk as the protective father, especially focused on Brooke's dating life and career. But Brooke's testimony revealed a—
You guys! Here, let's practice, okay? No. Play the piano with me, Brooklyn. Come on. You guys are like, look.
The show's most memorable moments often focused on Hulk's playful attempts to scare off Brooke's boyfriends and his pride in her musical career. But years later, Brooke revealed that this wholesome image was nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion. The so-called protective father was actually part of an abusive family dynamic that left her with deep emotional scars. The seemingly tight-knit family was, in reality, a toxic environment where Brooke was used as a pawn in her parents' constant battles. The gap between the family's public image and their private reality was so extreme that it forced fans to question everything they thought they knew about the Hogans. How much of Hogan knows best was actually real? How much was scripted or edited to create a fake narrative? And how did the producers and network completely miss or even ignore what was really happening behind the scenes? That illusion of a perfect family finally
Had so much together, but that's the key. We had so much together, and all of that's just been shot down, and a lot of water under the bridge there.
This revelation about Brooke being caught in the middle of her parents' divorce gave crucial insight into how she had been used as a pawn throughout her childhood and teenage years. The manipulation and emotional abuse had started long before the public ever learned about the Hogan family's issues. To fully understand the weight of Brooke Hogan's shocking revelations and her decision to cut ties with her family, we have to look back at the series of scandals that destroyed the Hogan family's public image and created the toxic environment Brooke described in her Instagram posts. These were not just sensational tabloid headlines. They were life-changing events that exposed the dark reality behind wrestling's most famous family. The first and most damaging scandal erupted in July 2015 when leaked audio from a 2007 tape revealed Hulk Hogan using racial slurs while talking about Brooke's relationship with a black man. The transcript, published by the National Enquirer, captured Hogan repeatedly using the N-word and making disturbing remarks about his daughter's dating choices. The quotes were shocking, and the fallout was immediate. WWE terminated Hogan's contract, removed him from the Hall of Fame, and erased all traces of him from their website and programming. This was a stunning blow, as WWE had built much of its 1980s success on Hogan's persona. But they issued a strong statement emphasizing their commitment to diversity and inclusion, effectively ending a decades-long partnership. What made this scandal even more heartbreaking was Brooke's response. Despite being the target of her father's racist rant,
He's an easy target. This is what this business is all about, and we know.
Looking back at Brooke's defense with the knowledge we now have about the abuse she endured, her words take on a much darker meaning. Her decision to excuse her father's racist language and minimize its impact was likely not an honest reflection of her true feelings about his character, but the result of years of manipulation and emotional control that shaped their relationship since childhood. The racist comments were not an isolated incident either. More offensive remarks surfaced from 2008 jailhouse phone calls between Hogan and his son Nick, who was serving time after a car crash that left a friend permanently disabled. In those calls, Hogan again used the N-word and made stereotypical comments about black people, proving this was a pattern of behavior rather than a single mistake. Hogan's efforts to repair his public image only made things worse. In an exclusive ABC News interview, he tried to justify his comments by saying he was suicidal at the time, an explanation many people saw as dismissive and tone deaf.
This one hit me probably the hardest, and that's a heck of a thing to say, because I've been through a lot of crazy stuff.
He continued.
I was at the lowest point of my life. My personal life was destroyed. I was very mad at my daughter. I was upset over a situation that happened between her and her boyfriend. And I had no idea I was being taped. I was to the point where I wanted to kill myself. I sat in my bathroom by myself when my ex-wife was gone and the kids were gone, and I was completely broken and destroyed. And I said, what's the easiest way out of this? I mean, I was lost.
You were suicidal.
But even in his apology, Hogan revealed disturbing details about his relationship with Brooke. He admitted that much of his anger at the time came from frustration over Brooke's dating choices, suggesting that his rage was less about his mental state and more about trying to control her personal life. This admission only strengthened the picture Brooke later painted: a childhood filled with manipulation, emotional pressure, and being treated like an object rather than an independent person. Instead of fixing his image, Hogan's apology gave the public an even clearer view of just how toxic the family dynamic had always been.
It was the direction of my attack. You know, I was not so mad at her boyfriend, I was mad at her, you know, and she instantly said, I don't even need to forgive you because I'm not mad at you. I love you, you're my...
This admission was especially disturbing because it meant Hogan's racist rants were never really about Brooke's boyfriend, they were about his anger toward Brooke herself. The racism scandal was tied to an even darker chapter in the Hogan family saga, the infamous sex tape scandal that had been simmering since 2012. The racist comments came from a 2007 sex tape featuring Hogan and Heather Clem, the wife of radio host Bubba the Love Sponge, secretly recorded without Hogan's knowledge. When Gawker Media published clips of the tape into a 1-2, it set off a legal battle that made headlines worldwide. Hogan sued Gawker for $100 million, accusing them of invasion of privacy, emotional distress, and violating his rights. In 2016, a jury awarded him $115 million in damages, plus $25 million in punitive damages. The case was eventually settled for $31 million, bankrupting Gawker and shutting the company down. The most shocking twist came when it was revealed that billionaire Peter Thiel secretly funded Hogan's lawsuit as revenge for Gawker outing him as gay years earlier, adding yet another layer of intrigue and manipulation to the saga. But the Hogan family's troubles didn't stop there. Their reputation had already taken hit after hit, starting in 2007 when Brooke's brother Nick was involved in a horrific car crash while street racing under the influence. The crash left passenger John Graziano permanently brain damaged. Nick served 8 months in jail, but the real cost was to the family's image and relationships. Then came Hulk's brutal 2009 divorce from Linda, which nearly ruined him financially and led to bitter public accusations, including Linda's claim that Hulk had affairs, one allegedly with Brooke's friend Christiane Plant, adding to the discomfort. Hogan often made questionable public statements and actions regarding Brooke. In 2013, he posted a photo of himself rubbing lotion on Brooke's legs, which drew widespread criticism and sparked accusations of boundary-crossing behavior, something Brooke later alluded to in her abuse allegations. There were also long-standing steroid rumors, confirmed in 1994 when Hogan testified during Vince McMahon's federal steroid trial that he had used anabolic steroids for 14 years. Despite previously denying it, all these scandals piled immense pressure on Brooke, who was trying to build a career in music and entertainment while being constantly tied to her father's controversies. Hogan's attempt to brush off his racist comments as just a glitch and insist he wasn't racist only deepened the pain, especially since Brooke had often been the target of his anger. These scandals didn't just damage Hogan's reputation, they created the toxic, chaotic environment Brooke later exposed in her Instagram posts. The most powerful moment, however, didn't come in March 2025 with her initial statement, but months later, in July, just days after Hulk Hogan's death on July 24, 2025. As the wrestling world mourned, Brooke prepared to deliver her final, most emotional message. On July 29, she posted a heartfelt tribute on Instagram addressing the painful estrangement while still honoring her father's memory. The timing spoke volumes. Brooke revealed that she found out about her father's death not through a family call but via a text message from her brother Nick to her husband Steven. This detail underscored how distant she had become from her family. Brooke's final words were not just bitter or angry, they were raw, emotional, and revealed the complicated love she still held for her father despite everything. Would you like me to rewrite Brooke's final tribute post as if it were a direct Instagram caption, emotional and powerful, but short and impactful?